Welcome back to Hippie Bliss Travel. Today is our last day in the Redwood Forest, and even though we spent 3 full days there, it wasn't enough time to see everything or do everything we wanted to do. Yeah, there were three spots that we really wanted, which was the Gold Bluffs Beach and Fern Canyon. But in the summer, you need to reserve a time, and they were all filled while we were here. And then on the kind of like on the east side is the Bald Hills Road. It's another one of those one-way roads, and it looked really interesting, but just based on where we were and time factors,
Here we are at the base.
those are the three we'd come back for. So we decided to do Trillium Falls, and this is the parking lot of kind of, you call it the base there. It's what I call it because if you look at the signs, there's so many trails you can take. Like here, it's more than just the Trillium Falls Trail. There's the same trail you can start on. You can go to that Lady Bird Johnson's where we were the day before. So we were joking, you really don't can't get lost as long as you stay on the trails. You'll end up in some parking lot. Like my husband says at some point in the video, it may not be the parking lot you intended, but you'll end up somewhere. Just don't leave the trails.
Yeah, so you are here. You can just do the short, like half-mile loop here. But we went this way, kind of went backwards. So we had to do like 3/4 of the trail before we got to the waterfall. So you can either do the big loop, 2.5 miles, or the small loop, just out and back a half-mile.
And the reason we did the loop backwards is because we know us. And if we just went to the falls and we go, oh, okay, we saw the falls, let's go back to the car. This way, if we did the big loop big part of the loop before we got to the falls, it would force us to do the whole 2.5 miles. Yeah, the split coming up, we're going to head to the right, and that'll kind of follows us up the Trillium Falls Trail. If you go to the left and you cross this bridge here, that'll take you to the other, like the Lady Bird Johnson, you would force you
Like
to go
that
that
parking
way.
lot.
So it would just be more trails.
I don't know if you've looked at some of these trails, but they so interconnect.
Oh yeah. You could way easily get lost out here just following the trails.
Maybe not lost, but certainly they're certainly well off of your intended destination.
Yeah. You'll get to a parking lot at some point.
It just may not be the parking lot you thought.
You were, yeah.
And until that point, the trail had been relatively flat. But once we started up, it was pretty much a pretty steep incline. But it was almost like taking a road up, a dirt road all the
Yeah.
way up. And you'd get up
It's a little
certain,
steep in
part way,
parts,
and then you would just see a trail
but so far, so
that went
good.
right or left. And sometimes they'd say trail, but wouldn't tell you which trail. So we were kind of guessing on how far, on which trail to go. This kind of ends at one point, and then you have to go right or left. And we kind of chose right, thinking, I think this is the right way, and it turns out it was the correct way. But going backwards, they are not labeled which trails to take. And then it's just kind of windy up to the top. And then at one point you crest before, and then you start down, and it's downhill to get to the falls. And these are just some
You can see the
interesting
nose and
trees,
yeah,
interesting, again, the fern carpet
it
almost on the
almost looks like a
ground.
face.
Uh-huh. Mouth. But then you look around and it's like a garden of ferns with big trees in it.
I know. Trouble is that first step is 3 to 4 feet down.
Yeah. And you can see the light on the small little hole on the other side.
Wait, really?
You can see the light almost.
Oh yeah.
Again, top cut, but still got some fresh growth on her. So here's one side of the tree. Let me try not to trip on the roots. And here's the other half of the tree.
And as you're walking under these large fallen trees, you almost had a feeling like Lincoln Logs, and one of them could give away at any moment. But it was a cool experience. A little unnerving though, even though you knew those trees weren't going to roll, but they could, possibly. As we walked from the parking lot to where you made the turn to go just to the Trillium Falls, where it'd be like the mile out and back, we passed quite a few people. But once we came around this long way around the backside first, we actually only passed two families that were part of that group we saw before that you made that initial turn to the falls. And it was in this section somewhere. And but other than that, those other two families we passed, those were kind of the only other people we ran into. Otherwise, we had the trail until we got to the falls pretty much to ourselves. Yeah, you can in the background you can start to hear the water. This is just the last little bit until you walk down upon the falls. Now, granted, I was thinking it was going to be a big waterfall. This one is not a big waterfall. This one is a small waterfall. Still beautiful, but just small. And as we get closer, there's this tree. I love a tree with moss on it. I find it beautiful. And there's my husband on the bridge looking at the little falls. And this tree next to the bridge, the root system. Wow.
Did you see behind you?
And then the hike back from the falls to the car, since we'd done most of it, was relatively easy. And then after that, we drove up to part of the Coastal Trail. There's multiple locations along here that has the Coastal Trail. So yeah, we parked at I think at Lagoon Creek. It kind of looked like a little rest stop area, or had some restrooms, picnic tables, and some parking. But then you're right up along the coast, and it takes you out along the
Let's
Coastal
do some of
Trail
the
here.
coastal trail
And it
instead of.
has also at the Yurok
Let's go this
Loop
way a little
Trail.
bit. We'll do the
So we kind of did both. We did the Coastal
trail.
Trail and then
Huh?
came back on
Yeah,
the
we can always
Yurok.
come back and go to the beach.
And I hope I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm not, no, if I hope I'm not offending anyone by mispronouncing. But yeah, it was by this time it was kind of overcast and cloudy when we did the Trillium Trail. But here the sun was out. We left the jackets in the car and just enjoyed the scenery. And again, you could follow the trail farther, farther down the coastal trail and connect to other points along the coast. Yeah, this is part of the Coastal Trail.
going next? I think we're heading up there.
Onto the coast.
Oh, they will. Okay. All right, Costal Trail. What a view. And then we go right back into the trees.
So as we were walking, we started up that Coastal Trail part. There was a sign that said the Yurok Loop Trail. It was like a mile, mile and a half. So we kept walking, thinking, okay, 15, 20 minutes, we'll keep walking. We should run into that turn to that trail. And by this time, we're like pushing almost a half hour. My husband's like, maybe we've missed the turn. Did we not see the sign? Well, we'll go 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. And then we really thought we were just about ready to turn around. And again, as my husband's walking through some of these tall grasses and flowers and stuff, he's 6'1". So some of these flowers that are just about the same height as he is. I know it doesn't show up well in the light, but there was the sign to turn down the loop trail here. And the first thing you do is you go straight up. But at this point, we're turning toward and heading back toward the car. Started this loop section going straight up, and then we ended it coming straight down. It was one of those where your upper thighs had to really lock in. It was pretty steep. I don't know if the video is showing how steep it is, but yeah, your upper thighs got to work out. And back in Eureka, we did stay at the Homes 2 Suites by Hilton.
All right, welcome to our room for the next 3 days. We've actually got an actual fridge and freezer, microwave, little kitchenette, dishwasher. I think we're at a Hilton Home 2 Suite something. Look at that. Towels versus last night's hotel. All right, we got a little studio. King. We are an industrial part of town. We're in Eureka. And yet we're going to be here the next 3 nights and we're going to keep going to the Redwood Forest.
And it was great because they had a decent selection for breakfast. And the coolest thing, I call it the yogurt machine. It says parfait, but I put yogurt from it. And then next to it, they had a little toppings bar for your yogurt. It had granola and, some dried fruit and stuff. They also had laundry. Now, the laundry, I did do a load of laundry because I wasn't going to have enough clean underwear, but it was a little pricey at 350 to wash and 350 to dry. Hot tub, pool. We did use the hot tub all 3 nights, and they had a little outdoor area, had a grill and stuff, and then some more artwork from around Eureka. And then we wanted a truly local spot for dinner. And we found this fantastic Caribbean, a Taste of Bim. It was like a mother and a daughter. The daughter, served and cooked and everything, and the mother, did help serve and stuff. But true Caribbean food, delicious. Tiny little place, but they had a table outside filled, and then the table behind us had like 6, 8 people. So if you're ever in Eureka, check it out. And this is going to pretty much wrap up the Eureka, Redwood Forest, Eureka part of our trip. Next video, we're going to start to head down to Monterey Bay. Thank you for watching Hippie Bliss Travel. Hope to see you next week. Bye.